Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Tea.
Cheers.
We're going to talk art with Mark Eanes.
And Maria Eanes.
And today is a really foggy, cold day here. We're bundled up and we have our nice warm drinks. So we hope you have a few minutes to get your own cup of whatever you like drinking and join us for this talk. This time we're going to wrap up this crazy year of 2020.
Wow.
And we decided to dedicate this talk to this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what a year it's been.
So the title of this talk is going to be Never Waste a Good Crisis.
I don't know where I heard that from, but I did hear that or read that
It
in
does
recent
sound good.
times, and I liked it, liked the sound of it. So to begin,
You had a story to tell.
I had a story to tell. So many years ago when I was living in the East Bay, Oakland, I had a studio there, and I just graduated from Mills College, my graduate work. And turns out on a given weekend, it was a horrible weekend, Maria, because I had a studio fire. And in the midst of cleaning out the ashes and all the burnt work and everything, I would come home to my apartment that I was sharing with a girlfriend at the time, covered in smoke and so on. And on a given Sunday afternoon, as I came home, I saw her making out with my neighbor downstairs. This is
Ouch.
someone I was living with. So
Ouch.
ouch. So double whammy, covered with smoke and ashes, caught my girlfriend cheating on me, and it was just not a good weekend. And I remember thinking, okay, now what? But really shortly after that, I was in a colleague's office at CCAC, Arts and Crafts at the time, and while waiting for him, I saw this postcard on the wall that had two Chinese characters on it. And out of curiosity, it was push pin, so I looked at it, and on the back it said, "This is the Chinese word for crises. 2 words, danger coupled with opportunity." And I realized, oh, that's clever.
Sign from the heavens.
Sign from the heavens. That was literally just a few days after, so I put it back. Well, by the way, recently I researched that out of curiosity, and that I guess is an urban legend that a lot of people sort of believe that.
It sounds good.
It sounds good that's actually not the case, but I still love the premise.
If anyone speaks Chinese,
Please help us out.
please
here.
help us.
Yeah, really, seriously, let us know if that's a thing or not. But whether it's urban legend or not, I love the premise. It's like also that saying that the sound of one door closing is the sound of another door opening.
Yeah.
So the point being here, that this has been a hell of a year for all of us around the globe. And it's altered our lives in a traumatic way. And it is a crisis. People are scared and terrified in certain places and situations.
Oh yeah.
So, what to say here? I think the main message that we want to convey is that we need to take good care of ourselves. And what does that mean when it comes to studio practice?
Yeah.
Because
Let's talk about
that's the nature
art.
of these talks, is art and studio practice. For myself, like I said, I was lucky because I was on sabbatical and I didn't have to work. But even if I was working, teaching online, which my colleagues are doing, I would still be here most of the time. And that means more time for my studio practice. And that's not wasting a crisis. That's really seizing the opportunity to buckle down and to do even a deeper dive into my artwork. I know that for a lot of artists, that's becoming the case, that they have more time to be in their studio. That is a silver lining here. But what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, have you noticed for in your own practice, has this chapter in our lives changed your practice? Are you drawing from this crisis in your own practice, and how?
Yes, it is. Who was I talking with? I was talking with Carol Dalton, my good friend and colleague, artist here in Benicia. So the work in the last several months has become very colorful. Like really colorful. More colorful than past bodies of work. And I'm convinced, and it wasn't even a conscious effort, Maria. I'm just convinced, looking back over that wall of work over there, that it's my way of feeling uplifted. I'm really realizing that my exploration of more vibrant color relationships in my work has been uplifting. You know, the opposite could be true for certain artists. They might go dark gray in moments like this. It's not rare at all for the work to go darker, because these are difficult, dark times. But for me, to answer your question, it's much more colorful right now. And I am having the time of my life, I have to say. This is like a rare moment. You know, I was thinking about this. When I was a kid in Indiana, growing up, we literally had to trudge through snow on a snow day. Like 2 feet of snow was nothing. They did not close the schools. 3 feet of snow, they might close the schools, and we were like, yay. This kind of feels like an extended version of that. Like, okay, I'm holed up here. Let's make the best of it.
Yeah. So I'm definitely thinking about how art reflects life and certain things we go through. I'm thinking about artists who lived and worked through wars, through the Great Depression, through natural disasters, all these things that are really catastrophic, and yet the artist somehow is the one who, well, archives this history, or how does a journal this history, right? It's a journalist in a way. It's someone who it's a historian, and it's also someone who distills through their own being and work the times that we're living in. So I see a lot of work now, paintings of people with masks. I see artwork made out of masks, a lot of photography going on. So definitely everyone is inspired in their own way by this chapter, this global chapter. On the other hand, I also have to acknowledge that because these are difficult and challenging times, it is also important to allow ourselves to take some time off and take care of ourselves.
You bet.
And not every day is a studio day, maybe.
No.
Right?
I find myself doing much more reading, which is an indulgence, but I never feel guilty with a good book. And we can also confess our guilty sin of binge watching the British Bake Off, for instance, and other shows of great wonder.
Yeah. I also find this time to be much more self-reflective and allowing that to happen, actually, because when we are not spending so much time at home, we have so many distractions, so many things we can go to and do and move around, and so we can avoid certain things. We can not think as much or not dwell as much in certain things. But these are the times when we're really turning more inward and with the immediate family or people that we share the living space with. And that is also challenging into itself. So I do want to acknowledge that part as a yoga teacher and as a human being, that is so important, to allow ourselves to not do much and just understand, and as my teacher would say, how human of me that today I feel down, that maybe I got some bad news, maybe I lost friends or members of my family, maybe someone is struggling in your family for whatever reason, they lost their job.
Which has been the case.
Which has been the case so much. We are currently, helping a family member of our own in so many ways. And then on top of everything, we have COVID. So it's just a lot of pile up. Yeah. And I think that the studio practice, the artist practice is...
Well, for me, it's a refuge.
It's a total refuge. It's so important, but it's also it does require some energy. And as you said the other day, it's less stressful for me to do smaller work right now. Yeah. So you don't want to tackle another big piece because it is work, it is stress, and you yourself felt like I need
smaller pieces
and just to bring more enjoyment and meditation than struggle, right, in the studio. Yeah. So allowing yourselves to explore different mediums, different ways of expressing yourself and being gentle to yourself, I think it's crucial.
I've also found myself reaching out to people I haven't seen for a very long time. And I'm getting ready to Zoom with a friend of mine in Europe that I haven't seen in a long time. I'm reaching out to a few other people I haven't seen,
Yeah.
and sometimes either just calling them or getting on their computer and Zooming.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we are social creatures after all, and that's one of the most difficult moments of this COVID chapter is the inability to be with people, to be close with people, to even give a hug, for goodness sake.
To have that choice if you wanted to.
I know. Imagine what that first hug is going to feel like with someone close to us. It's going to be pretty powerful, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so we received a lot of feedback from artists who just signed up for the Language of Color workshop as another way to deal with the winter as well for those who are living in places where it's getting colder and maybe they're under snow. So definitely doing art can be very, very helpful, but connecting with people, reaching out, connecting with yourself, understanding yourself, being gentle to yourself, all of these things are so important.
And I'm very happy to announce to the world at large that I baked my first quiche just a few days ago. I've eaten many a quiche in my day, but never baked one, and I'm happy to say it really turned out well.
Yeah.
But this is also what people are doing. They're making their way into the kitchen. We have cooked every meal just about, and it's brought us closer, I think, because of that. So we will take lessons from this. Going back to our original title, Never Waste a Good Crisis. There are ways that we can learn and grow and even benefit, oddly enough. And we have actually benefited from this in certain ways. It just takes a certain ability to see that and to act on that. I think that's key.
Yeah. Well, at the very end of this year, what do we want to wish our friends out there?
Well,
and
first
all
of
the
all,
people.
health and safety for sure.
Yeah.
To be safe and to take good care of yourselves. That's really, I think, the message we wanted to convey here. And to not only see the silver linings of this plague, but to act on them if possible.
We really hope that 2021 is going to bring a positive change for everyone. And we wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah,
for the non-believers, whatever
Chinese New Year, whatever we are missing. So in any case, happy future, better future. Stay with us. We're looking forward to sharing next year with all of you as well.
Yeah, hopefully in person.
Yes.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Here's a virtual hug to everyone.
Yeah.